What's up everybody, Andrew Mahone here from Darium's Pokemon. Going to be doing a card of the day video. Today's card of the day is Leafeon GX from the Ultra Prism set. Super stoked on this other Evolution GX card. Let's check it out. First of all, it's grass type. This thing's got 200 hit points, good amount of hit points for a Pokemon GX Stage 1, especially considering, again, since it is an Evolution, you can use that Energy Evolution Eevee and get it into play on the first turn of the game. So that is amazing, an awesome ability for an Evolution to have, and unlike Leafeon GX, this Leafeon GX does have something it could do on the first turn of the game if you're going second with a single grass energy, Grand Bloom GX. This is the GX attack that has got everybody talking. It can set up your entire board for just one energy and on the first turn of the game if you happen to start it. Grand Bloom GX for one grass says for each of your benched basic Pokemon, search your deck for a card that evolves from that Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon and then shuffle your deck afterwards. So if you were to play this in a deck with a bunch of basic Pokemon that you wanted to evolve, Grand Bloom GX could do that. That would be amazing, right? Immediately what comes to mind, grass type decks, we're talking about Decidueye, right? If you were to have an Eevee on the first turn of the game in the active position and a bench with a bunch of Rowlets on it, you could go turn one, Grand Bloom GX, evolve all your, your benched maybe Zaruas or your benched, Rowlets, and you could evolve them all up into Dartriches and Zoroark GXs so that on the next turn, you're ready to go. Now, that is a big price to play though, because Decidueye GX really loves Hollow Hunt. So, giving up Hollow Hunt in order to use Grand Bloom GX is a little bit of a consolation. Also, what are you doing with this Leafeon GX after you Grand Bloom GX? Now, it does have a couple other useful things going for it, so let's talk about those. Its ability, Breath of the Leaves, would be really good for Decidueye as well. Decidueye loves to tank hits and heal them off, promote a Decidueye GX, take a hit, retreat to the bench, promote something else, take a hit, while it continues to just feather arrow and overwhelm the opponent's board position. Breath of the Leaves is Leafeon's ability, and it reads, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, once during your turn before you attack, you may heal 50 damage from one of your Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. So, it's a nice little healing ability that goes hand in hand with Decidueye. Now, my problem with using Leafeon GX in Decidueye is that not only is it tough to get the desired Pokemon that you want into the active position on the first turn of the game, or even early for that matter, just because of the nature of the deck, but it's also hard to get energy everywhere you want on the board as well, since the deck plays a limited amount of energy. So it's also going to be difficult in a traditional Decidueye deck to get the grass energy that you want onto an Eevee early in the game, since modern Decidueye lists are only playing 2 copies of grass energy. So if you were to accommodate for Leafeon, you would have to play a higher count of grass energy in order to make sure not only that you're able to pull off an early Grand Bloom GX, but also that you're able to take the most advantage of Breath of the Leaves and heal your benched Pokemon. Now, Solar Beam is Leafeon GX's attack for grass and 2 colorless energy. You do 110 damage. Now, that is pretty good, especially if you are supplementing with Feather Arrow, with Choice Band, and stuff like that. So all in all, I think Leafeon GX is a good Pokemon. It is solid. It can set up your board position. That's very cool. I like that. Breath of the Leaves is a nifty little ability. However, I'm just not sure where Leafeon GX would fit in standard format. It could be used to set up a stage 1 deck, but ultimately you are using a stage 1 to set up other stage 1s. Is that really the best way to go about things? I think probably not. Most players have opted to go the Zoroark GX route as far as their setup Pokemon, because Zoroark GX is a valid supplemental attacker as well. So not only is Zoroark GX easily to get into play, but then you don't have to waste your attack setting up Pokemon like you would with Grand Bloom GX. You just go straight ahead and start trading, and then you could just attack with that same Zoroark on the first turn that you get it into the play on the second turn of the game, right? Leafeon GX, in order to produce some damage, is going to require 2 attachments, a grass energy and a double colorless, and then also you're wasting your turn with Grand Bloom GX. So I'm not exactly sure how much competitive play Leafeon is really going to see, especially since in Decidueye decks, which Decidueye seems like, you know, kind of the partner that everybody's going to be thinking of at first, especially since in those decks, Leafeon is competing side by side with Zoroark GX for space, and I think Zoroark probably is just the better option at this point for making sure that the deck is running on all 6 cylinders and getting everything into play as quickly and consistently as possible. To round things up, Leafeon GX, unsurprisingly, has a weakness to fire and a retreat cost of 2. Retreat cost of 2 is totally fine since you can just use that double colorless energy that you're probably going to be playing in a Leafeon GX deck to retreat it anyhow. As far as the artwork goes, it's a super cool looking card. I definitely think that Leafeon is an awesome looking Pokemon, so stoked to have this as another Evolution GX Pokemon in the canon of Evolution GX Pokemon that we already have. So thank you all for watching the card of the day video, Leafeon GX. Look out for it coming out in Ultra Prism, due in February. Thank you all for watching. Peace.